What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my perfectly healthy, not injured at all co-hosts, Josh and John Luke. What's up, guys?
One of us is healthy. One of us is perfectly not. Well, actually, I don't want to speak for. Never mind. My back hurts.
Oh, okay.
Guys, also joining us today, we have a special guest making her debut on the Fantasy Football Game Show is Jennifer Akins. For those of you that do not know Jennifer, you can find her on Twitter at the Monday Mommy, right there below her face on the screen. She is the Fantasy Football Content Manager over at 4for4 and BetSperts, and we are hyped to have you on today with us today, Jennifer.
Hi guys, I'm excited to be here. This will be interesting.
This will be fun. We've got a good game prepared. We've got some good puzzles prepared for you today. I came up with most of them, but there is a viewer in the chat, Dustin, who came up with a couple puzzles for me today. So we got a couple viewers submitted puzzles into the game.
The chat is undefeated.
The chat, they are here and ready for today's game. Pangs Picks, I made the same face as the thumbnail when Stafford won the Super Bowl.
I got to see the thumbnail.
I bet you did. Burner! Woo! Burner! Welcome back, Burner. Glad to have you in here. And Jay, he knows what's up whenever Burner shows up. Craig in the chat says, looks like FYF has Jennifer Ferocious guest on today. That wasn't a stretch, Craig. What? That one took a little bit. Jennifer Ferocious.
Okay.
Yeah, Ferocious. Yeah.
Well, you've had better work, Craig, with your dad.
It's like a
joke.
3 out of 10. Yeah.
Maria says, present and ready. What's up, Maria? Welcome in. Albert, good afternoon. Glad to have you here on our favorite chat cat. Hi, lovely FYF. Hello, Mr. Scampers. And Mr. Scampers said, Jen, excited that you're in here. You already got a cheering section, Jennifer.
Mr. Scampers is everywhere. Every pod that I am ever on, there is Mr. Scampers.
Mr. Scampers is a very loyal cat.
He's an outdoor cat. He runs around from stream to stream. We don't keep him locked up in there.
It's amazing. He's everywhere. Or she, I guess. Well, Mr. I guess.
Mr. Jay wants to know, Josh, are you sitting in a beanbag chair?
Essentially, believe it or not, this is my bed. I said this before the stream, but I am at the same time the most comfortable and the least comfortable I think I've ever been during a stream.
It's incredible.
That's what it is. Yeah.
We got Dame in the chat saying, hello, what a crew. What's up, Dame? Glad to have you in here. And Alex as well. Peaked, welcome in. And Craig's offended. 3 out of 10.
Okay, it was better than that. Like there was some thought process. The Ferocious, it was spelled out. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
Now you're just giving into criticism.
I'm pandering.
Guys, today we brought Jennifer on to play some Fantasy Fortune. Before we do that, a couple reminders. Number one, if you're not already following our guest, Jennifer, go and fix that right this instant. She is on Twitter at the Monday Mommy. Like I said before, it's right there below her face on the screen. So make sure you go over there and follow her. After you do that, if you're watching this video, that means you're likely already on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you're subbed to us at Front Yard Fantasy. Easiest way to show your support for what we're doing over here and to make sure you don't miss Josh in a beanbag chair. Beanbag Josh is best, Josh.
Beanbag Josh.
Guys, I don't have a beanbag chair. I got to be honest with you. Like, it's not a beanbag chair. It's just like a thing you sit up on in your bed. It's nice. I don't know what they're called.
You know what's the worst? Like, I swear, the last time I said beanbag chair out loud, my ads on every website were for like the giant 8-foot beanbag chairs for like 6 months. This is going to reset it. Now, every ad I see for the next 6 months is going to be giant beanbag chairs. I'm positive of it. That are like $800 that I can't afford. It's going to be a problem. We got Scott Fish in the chat. What's up, Scott? He said, I met Mr. Scampers in LA. He is a bigger cat than you would expect. I think Mr. Scampers is over 6 feet tall. Seeing a cat that big is crazy. I've only seen cats that big at the zoo. And not standing up. That's making assumptions that if they stood up on their back legs. Do you have a 6 foot cat at your house, Jennifer?
No, he's not. He's not 6 feet, but he's a normal sized cat. And he's usually in this window, but he's not there.
Open Josh Rose in the middle of talking about his shirt.
Pipe in his shirt. Look.
That's
a great still.
If you're gonna freeze, that's a good one.
That is.
It's a good one. Guys, we brought Jennifer here today to play some Fantasy Fortune. Scott loves Josh's shirt. I'm going to pull up this puzzle board, explain how this game is going to work, and then we are going to get started. Welcome back, Josh.
I'm so happy to be back.
Guys, this game is Fantasy Fortune. It's a lot like the popular TV show Wheel of Fortune, except with an NFL or fantasy twist. Instead of spinning a wheel, contestants are going to be answering 50-50 NFL or fantasy-related trivia questions. Get the question right, you'll get to guess a consonant that you think appears on the board. Every consonant that shows up is going to earn you $500 into your round bank. If you get that question and letter right, you'll get to go again. If you get that one right, you get to go again. But after that third time, we are going to move on to the next contestant. You will have 5 seconds to solve the puzzle, and any money you earned from those 3 questions will get banked into your total bank. So even if you don't know the puzzle, get 3 questions in a row, get 3 letters up there, you're going to bank all that money. It's advantageous for you. Now, you can also solve the puzzle at any time during your turn, except after a question has been asked. Solving the puzzle will earn you a minimum of $1,000. So even if you have 0 in there, there's no letters up on the board, but you think you know what it is, you can pull that solve out and earn $1,000. Now, it is not 1,000 plus whatever you have in your round bank. It is a minimum of 1,000. So if you've got 2,000 in there, you're going to earn 2,000. If you've got 500 in there, you will earn 1,000 because of that minimum value. During your turn, there's one more thing you can do. At any point, also except after a question has been asked, you can decide to purchase a vowel. It will cost 100 per instance that it shows up on the board with a max of $500. So we're going to require you to have a minimum of $500 in your round bank in order to guess a vowel that round. That is all of the rules. Are you guys ready to get this game started?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what you
memorize the rules, right?
I feel like
got it memorized.
Did you ever I don't know if you guys ever watched Friends, but like the Bamboozled, that's what I feel like just happened there. Like, let's play Bamboozled. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know what's happening, but it's fine. It's fine.
If you can answer trivia, then you'll be good to go.
It's easy to pick up. Easy to pick up.
All right, I'm ready.
We got Alex in here saying, JL in nice blue, digging the shirt color. Yeah, JL, it really brings out your eyes. You look beautiful.
My poop brown
your
eyes.
Your brown eyes, yeah. Just the blue accentuates them right there. Maria said, does JL ever win the poll? I'm not sure JL has ever won the poll, but JL, I'm guessing.
I don't think I have either. Maybe there's been a random ones where I've gotten a lot of votes. I think people are just delirious that day. Jen got 60% of the vote.
You winning the poll at least once.
Maybe one time, one weird day. Yeah, not today. Today is not that day. Jen definitely got 60% of the vote. Josh 33%. Me.
What vote are you talking about?
In the chat thinks is going to win.
Oh,
we asked who's going to win today in Fantasy Fortune.
Okay.
And Burner said 6%. Suck it, Jen.
I will indeed suck it, Burner. I will indeed suck it this time.
Boozled. Guys, all of those rules I just explained are going to apply to every puzzle we play except for this first one. This first one is a toss-up puzzle, which is going to be played a little bit differently. I'm going to load it up. It is going to be an NFL player. I will slowly reveal letters that are in the puzzle. Nobody's going to be answering questions. When you think you know who it is, scream your name. I'll call on you. If you get the player right, you're going to add $500 to your total bank, and you will get to go first in the following round. And Scott, when's the last game JL won? When did you win, JL?
I will have you know, Tara and I tied in Fantasy Jeopardy this week.
I watched that.
That counts as a win.
That was yesterday.
That was as recently as yesterday.
JL, to be even more fair, you also came in last in that game. You tied for last place.
Also
as
true.
Well.
Yes, I did tie for last place also.
You tied for last. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this first puzzle.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry. Joey said Josh looks like he's sitting in a barber chair
with a hat on.
Well, Josh, you're really sensitive about your hair because you haven't gotten your hair cut in a while, so you're going to leave the hat on to the last possible second until the barber walks.
I am sensitive about my hair today.
I am sensitive about my hair today. Oh, Craig nailed it.
Okay, guys, are you ready for this toss-up puzzle? Reminder, I'm going to start revealing letters. If you think you know who the player is, yell out your name. One more reminder to our contestants. Get over in the private chat, not in these comments, because our viewers are going to be playing along. If you think you know it, put it in the chat. And our viewers are generally smarter than we are on the stream and usually get it before we do. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start revealing letters. If you guys are ready, when you think you know the player, say your name.
Just keep thinking of Jail.
Let me get into a name.
I did hear JL's name first, right before Aniyama. Very close to JL. Who is this player?
Marcus Mariota.
Oh, how do I reveal this?
Click on the
clicked
points.
On there. Yeah, you got that one correct. That is going to earn you $500.
I knew what it was.
I think Jen and I got it at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't know my name for a moment.
That's happened to me so many times, Jen. I can't even count.
I don't normally scream out my own name for any reason.
I usually have like a 15-second of just like just panic.
Also, Maria in here saying Julio Jones. How did you know that originally I had this as Julio Jones and changed it no more than 10 minutes before the show started to Marcus Mariota. That was Scott who said it, not Maria. They've got the same color and they're right next to each other, so I got confused. Scott said that. JL, that earns you 500. Angel get to go first in our next round. Okay. You guys ready for this first puzzle?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Dale, one of my favorite categories. What are you doing? So for some context, this could be anything football related. It could be standing in line at the concession stands. It could be doing a touchdown celebration. It could be drafting with my friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. We had eating shrimp Alfredo with Lamar Jackson in the past. So it could be all over the place, but it is going to be at least football tangential right here. Everyone out of the chat. And JL, are you ready for your first question?
Yes. Let me get out of the chat here. I'm in the private chat. I'm ready.
Okay, JL.
Thank you,
Where did all my questions go? There they are. Dale, we're going to start in one of my favorite categories. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that's where I put them. We're going to start with sleeper PPR ADP is where these questions are going to come from. We are approaching draft season, and so we're going to start with some PPR ADP questions. Dale, who is currently being drafted earlier according to sleeper PPR ADP? Is it Deebo Samuel or is it Mike Evans?
Mike Evans.
I'm sorry, it is Deebo Samuel. They're almost a full round apart.
You say redraft or dynasty?
Redraft. This is redraft PPR ADP, and Deebo is going first, which means Josh, we are coming on to you. Are you ready for your first question?
Oh, I'm ready, Simon. Let's go.
Okay, Josh, who is currently being drafted higher in PPR redraft ADP? Is it Ezekiel Elliott or is it Josh Allen?
It's one quarterback, I'm assuming.
It's one quarterback.
Obviously. I think Josh Allen's getting drafted earlier.
Question, wouldn't it?
I think Josh Allen is still being drafted earlier.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Well, you would be correct, Josh, by about a round. Josh Allen is getting drafted earlier, which means you'll get to guess a letter on this board. Which letter would you like?
I'll take an S.
An S. There are two S's in this puzzle, Josh. Can add 1,000 to your round bank. Would you like another question? Would you like to buy a vowel, or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I think I just want another question, Simon.
Okay, we're going to stick with some ADP, at least for this first full round. Okay. Josh, who is currently being drafted earlier according to Sleeper PPR ADP? Is it Clyde Edwards-Helaire or is it Courtland Sutton?
Clyde's falling down this draft. It's got to be Courtland Sutton.
It is Courtland Sutton by about 10 spots. Josh, which letter would you like?
I'll take an R.
An R. There are two R's, staying consistent. Josh, this is your last opportunity to buy vowels if you would like to do so on this turn.
I don't think the vowels are going to help me here, so let's just go for another question.
Okay, another question. Okay, Josh, we're going to stick with some ADP. Who is currently being drafted earlier according to Sleeper PPR ADP? Is it Darnell Mooney or is it Gabriel Davis?
No, it should be Mooney by so much. And I know you agree with me, Simon, but is Gabe in sleeper? It's probably Mooney. I'm going to go with Mooney.
And Josh, you would be correct. By 11 spots, Mooney is being drafted earlier than Gabriel Davis. That's
good job, Sleeper ADP.
If you get this letter right, Josh, you will bank this money off to a hot start, but the letter has to be up there. Which letter would you like?
Well, give me an N, Simon. An N is in Nancy.
And there are three N's, Josh. You're going to add all of this money to your round bank, $3,500. But I'll give you 5 seconds to solve this puzzle.
I don't even know a word of this, Simon. Get this out.
Okay,
actually, I think I just figured out a part of this puzzle, but it doesn't matter.
Too late, bonk. Okay. We're moving on to Jennifer. Jennifer, it is your turn. Would you like to solve this puzzle or would you like a question?
No, I want a question. I want you to know I've gotten everyone right so far, so I'm sure that we're now due for one that I don't
Of course.
That's how this always works. You'll nail every question that
I've gotten everyone right of everybody else's. But...
Well, here is your first question. According to Sleeper PPR ADP, who is currently being drafted earlier? Is it George Kittle or is it Marquise Brown?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a tough one.
I'm going to go Marquise Brown.
And I am sorry, you predicted it. It is George.
I knew that would happen.
I would have gone Marquise Brown too, Jennifer.
Yeah, I don't. I actually don't. I don't have any leagues on Sleeper, so my ADP in my brain is from other places.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, hey, that was a good question.
That one was tough. JL, that means we're going to move on to you. Are you ready for your second question?
Yeah, I need a question.
You know, we're going to move on from ADP now that everyone's had an ADP turn. We're just going to look at some fantasy football leaders from last year. We're just going to look at fantasy scores. So, JL, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Marquez Callaway or was it Antonio Brown?
Antonio Brown.
I'm sorry, it was Marquez Callaway. All 17 games helped him out there, JL, which means we're moving on to Josh.
Points per game, it wasn't even close, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I'm sure. Josh, your turn. Are you ready for your question, or would you like to solve?
Yes, please. Question, please.
Hey, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Devonta Smith or was it Cortland Sutton?
Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith is absolutely correct, Josh. Which letter would you like?
I'll take a G.
A G.
I don't know why
G's in this puzzle, Josh.
Because I know some part of this puzzle, I think, and I don't know. Okay, so would you like I'll buy a letter. I'll buy a vowel. Let me buy a. Actually, it's just gonna hope they probably already. Give me an I.
An I. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I's. Going to subtract 500 from your bank. Josh, what would you like to do now? Would you like to solve? Would you like to buy another vowel, or would you like another question?
I think I know what it is.
So is that you saying you'd like to solve?
I don't know how. I don't know the first word, so I'm gonna take out a question.
Okay, Josh. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it J.D. McKissick or was it Miles Sanders?
Oh, man. Miles Sanders.
I'm sorry. It was J.D. McKissick, Josh. Yeah. Almost 2 full points per game more than Miles Sanders. And they played similar amounts of games, 11 and 12, which means, Jennifer, we're moving on to you. Would you like to solve this puzzle or would you like a question?
I need a question. I have no idea what that is.
Okay, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it A.J. Dillon or was it Aaron Jones?
How many games?
Excuse me.
I'm trying to remember. I'm getting my years confused on. You want full fantasy points or points per game?
Full fantasy points.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones is absolutely correct. Jennifer, nice job. Aaron Jones had 229 fantasy points last season compared to A.J. Dillon's 185.6. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with a L.
An L. I am sorry. There are no L's in this puzzle. It's been brutal so far.
Oh, man.
All right.
JL, we're on to you. Would you like to solve or would you like a question?
I need a question.
Okay. PPR fantasy points. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Damian Harris or was it James Robinson?
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like, JL?
I will take a T.
A T. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 T's, JL. Going to add 2,500. Now, what would you like to do?
I would like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
I would like to buy an E.
An E.
I know
there are 1, 2, 3 E's, JL. Going to subtract 300. What would you like to do now?
I would like to buy another vowel. I'd like to buy an O.
An O. There's 1 O in this puzzle, JL.
I would like to buy another vowel.
I know it.
I'd like to buy a U.
Damn.
There's 1 U and there are no more vowels in this puzzle, JL. That is every vowel.
Question.
Okay, another question for JL. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? Was it Tyler Lockett or was it Adam Thielen?
Lockett.
Lockett is correct, JL.
Woo.
Which letter would you like?
I will go for an H.
An H. And there are 1, 2, 3 H's in this puzzle, JL. This is your last up. You can't buy a vowel. So would you like a question or would you like to solve?
I think I got it.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Then do you need a question?
I need another question. I need a question.
Okay, JL, here is your last question. And we're going to switch categories now. Who had more rushing touchdowns last year? Who had more rushing touchdowns? Was it Josh Jacobs or was it Najee Harris?
Najee Harris.
I'm sorry, JL. Josh Jacobs had 9 to Najee Harris is 7.
You said
we're moving on to Josh.
Damn it.
Josh, I'll solve this.
Okay, Josh.
It was tough coming up with the first word hitting, but hitting the gritty with Justin Jefferson.
It is hitting the gritty with Justin Jefferson.
Is that what it's called? Hitting the gritty? I guess I don't have my
song, Hit the Gritty.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Also, Burner in here pissed. JL, how did you not guess that? And Burner got it a long time ago. 7 minutes.
You try up here, Burner.
Burner's like, I have, and I won last time I came on. Josh, that's going to be $1,000 into your bank, giving you a pretty nice lead, but there's still plenty of game left. And Jennifer, you're going to go first on this next puzzle since Josh got that one correct. Joey wants to know what is a gritty. Josh, would you like to explain what a gritty is?
You do something like I can't. My back, my back. I would do it right now, like perfectly,
but he can't.
But yeah, my back.
And before we move on, I don't think we need to mention much about Justin Jefferson this year. Everybody's high on him, right?
He's good.
He's good.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's all right.
Draft him if you can. If you're in the first round, it's fine drafting Justin Jefferson. Let's move on to our next
top 3 receiver for you in pretty much every format. So,
as here is your next puzzle. This is going to be same round to ADP. So these are 2 players that are being drafted in the same round, according to Sleeper, PPR, ADP. I checked some other sources, though, and they're within the same round on ESPN and then also on fantasy data as well. So these guys are being drafted in the same round. You know nothing else about them. It could be any position, but they're going to be similarly valued fantasy players. Everyone back into the private chat. And Jennifer, we're going to come to you first. Would you like to solve or would you like a question?
I think I'll take a question.
Okay, my question for you is who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards? Was it Melvin Gordon or was it Jamal Williams?
Jamal or Javonte? Jamal?
Jamal.
Okay. I thought Melvin.
Melvin is correct. I meant to say Javonte, but I said Jamal out loud, so that's what we rolled with. Jennifer, which letter would you like?
I'll take a T, please.
T. There are 3 T's in this puzzle. Off to a hot start. Would you like another question? Would you like to buy a vowel or would you like to solve?
I'll take a question, please.
Okay. My question for you, we're going to stick in the rushing yards category. Who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards? Was it Austin Eckler or was it DeAndre Swift?
Eckler.
Eckler is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like, Jennifer?
I'll take an S, please.
An S, and there's 1 S in this puzzle. Going to add another 500. This will be your last opportunity to buy vowels this turn, if you would like to do so. You don't have to, or we can move on to your next question.
I'll take a question, please.
Okay, and let's do some rushing touchdowns. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Who had more rushing touchdowns? Was it Derrick Henry or was it Josh Allen?
That's tough because Henry missed a bunch, but I don't know how many touchdowns Josh Allen actually scored last year on the ground. I'm going to go with Henry still.
And you would be absolutely correct with 10 touchdowns to Josh Allen, 6. Nice job, Jennifer. If this letter is on the board, you will bank all of this money, but you got to get this letter right. Which
letter
would you like?
Let's go with an R.
An R?
Safe choice.
I am sorry. There are no R's in this puzzle. That's brutal. All 3 questions right. And that last consonant, which means we're moving on to JL.
I definitely would have went with an R there too.
That's about the safest letter you could have gone with up there. It's in the Wheel of Fortune core letters. JL, would you like to solve or would you like a question?
I need a question.
Okay, JL. Who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards? Was it Mark Ingram or was it Chuba Hubbard?
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard is absolutely correct. No hesitation from JL. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with an N.
N as in Nancy.
N as in no.
One N in this puzzle. Now gonna add 500.
Big money. Big money.
What would you like to do now?
Big
you want to buy some vowels, or you want another question?
Whammy. Stop.
Hell nah. No whammy. No whammy. No whammy. Give me another question.
There we go.
Okay.
Different game.
JL, you said different game. My question for you is: who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards? Was it DJ Moore or was it Jalen Waddle?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is correct by about 150 yards, Dale. That was a tough one.
I would have picked Waddle.
Yeah,
the rookie reception.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
I would have picked Waddle.
You sounded confident, though.
I sounded super confident. I had no idea because I feel like Simon has consistently gotten me on Waddle yardage questions. So I just went with the opposite of what my.
So you guys have an advantage here with this.
We absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Straight up questions.
But also the host has an advantage at screwing with us.
He knows
also,
he knows that.
Yeah,
I know what JL thinks I'm trying to make him think.
Yeah, it's usually not advantageous to try and play each other. It doesn't usually work out.
Okay, JL, which letter would you like?
All right, let's go with a. Oh God, I don't know. They all feel wrong.
Yeah, I agree. JL.
Every single.
I know what I would go with.
Let's go with a C.
A C?
That's not what I would have went with.
Me either.
Well, there are two
C's
in this puzzle, JL. Gonna add 1,000 to your score. This is your last opportunity to buy vowels this turn if you would like to do so, or you can just roll into another question.
Doesn't work.
I'll just roll into another question.
Okay, JL. Who had more receptions last season? Who had more receptions? Was it Mark Andrews or was it Brandon Cooks?
Ooh.
Andrews
is correct. I thought for sure you would think I would want you to pick Brandon Cooks, but you got through it, JL. Which letter would you like? This is to bank that money.
Let's go with an L.
An L?
Take that L. Oh, no.
2, 3,
no.
4,
and I would like to solve, Simon.
No, okay, JL, what is it?
Elijah Mitchell and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
You guys can't hear the music, but that's what it says in my ears when you get it right.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Am I missing something there, or is that just as far as what that is? I mean,
the relationship.
Yeah. Like,
so they were just drafted. They're just being drafted near each other.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, same round ADP.
It really that little info it doesn't help a ton in this situation.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. When you said that, I thought you meant that's the questions we were doing. And then when you asked me, Gordon or Williams, I was like, that's not an ADP question, but whatever. I didn't understand that's what you meant for the
Jennifer. I love that. Like in that scenario, I was just a complete dumbass, and you were like, "Let's roll with it." You were like, "Fine, all right, that's all good. Whatever he says."
I just listen. As I said, I'm just here to hang out,
ready to adapt to whatever's going on. Joe, you got that one correct. Before we move on, though, Dalton Schultz, both of these players had incredible seasons last year. And I think there's some serious question marks about each of them going into this year, probably why they're being drafted a little bit later than their finish was last year. JL, we'll start with you on the Elijah Mitchell side. How do you feel about Elijah Mitchell this year? Do you think he's going to hold on to that lead back role, or do you think someone else, maybe the rookie they drafted, is going to come in and take some of that work?
No, I think he'll be the main guy in that 49ers offense. I do think that they're going to spread the ball around a bit. I mean, we've seen Shanahan do that. I know a lot of people like to bring up Shanahan's usage of running backs over the last few years as evidence of how he's going to move going forward. I'm not as confident in that. I think a lot of their running back usage over the last couple of years has been just by default. They've had a ton of injuries. I don't know the exact numbers on this, but it feels like they've had way more injuries than most NFL teams in the running back position over the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I'm not too worried. I think Elijah Mitchell's a very talented back, and I think he'll be fine. Now I'm not drafting him, incredibly high. I think he's most likely going to be a low end RB2.
Jennifer, what about you? Do you agree about Elijah Mitchell this year? Or are you maybe more concerned about Tyrion Davis-Price or someone else in that backfield?
Yeah, I think that as we all know, you can't ever count on a Kyle Shanahan backfield to play out the way that we all think it will, or the way we all want it to. So I think Elijah Mitchell should be the guy, but I mean, for all we know, it could be Trey Sermon this year. Like, let's be real.
Can you imagine?
I know
Twitter?
that would be horrendous.
I
would be horrendous.
I could see Kyle Shanahan week 1 being like Trey Sermon, go out.
Totally.
Why
not? But no, I'm drafting a little bit of Elijah Mitchell here and there. I'm not going to invest too heavily. I do like Tyrion Davis-Price too. I think that, like we said, I mean, he has as good of a shot as anyone to get on there and earn some volume. So,
absolutely.
But I think Elijah Mitchell's cheap enough that it's not like,
right. That risk is kind of built into his draft cost right now. Shout out to Albert. Albert was the first one to solve part of it. Got Elijah Mitchell, and then Joey and Sean at almost the same exact time with the full solve. And before we move on, Josh, these two spoke on Elijah Mitchell a little bit. I wanted to ask you about Dalton Schultz. He had one hell of a season last year, kind of coming out of nowhere. He wasn't expected to even be the starting tight end. Do you think he's going to continue that this year? Or do you think there's going to be a big drop off for him? We also had Amari Cooper leave, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm high on Dalton Schultz this year. We saw him get the targets that we want to see a tight end get, over 100 targets, I believe he had last year. And that's why I project even more so this upcoming season, because there's no Amari Cooper. They still have Dak Prescott. They still have a very good offensive line. They're going to want to run the ball a lot, but Dalton Schultz could easily be the second target in this passing attack. They do have some other guys. They brought in a rookie. They brought, Michael Gallup's going to be healthy, but in where he's getting drafted, he is a steal in my opinion.
There we go. Guys, we're going to pull up this next puzzle, and this next puzzle is courtesy of our friend Dustin. Dustin threw this one together, and it is an NFL player movie mashup. So for some examples of what we've done here before, we've done like Boston Scott Pilgrim versus the World, The Silence of the CeeDee Lambs, things like that. We're going to take an NFL player name and we're going to shove it together with a movie and then make it a puzzle that you guys have to figure out. So who solved that last one? I think JL did, right?
Yeah.
JL did, which means Josh, we're starting with you. Everyone back in the private chat, if you're not there already. Josh, would you like to solve or would you like a question? And Dustin, if you're in the chat watching, no giving the answers.
I can't.
This is a Dustin one.
This is a Dustin one. Okay, Josh, my question for you is who had more receptions last season? Was it Keenan Allen or was it Jamar Chase?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like, Josh?
Jamar Chase only had 81, so I mean, that's not that many.
Is it 81?
Yeah, 81.
I think it is 80.
Josh.
Yeah, look at
That's
that.
impressive.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I know it's a lot less than you expect. I'm pretty amazing.
I am pretty impressive.
Give me
humble.
I'm feeling pretty good about a G here.
A G.
Yeah.
And there is one G in this puzzle, Josh.
Okay.
Unconventional compared to your normal strategy.
No, I know. I was feeling good about the G. I didn't expect it to be at the beginning of a word, but give me a question.
Okay, Josh, my question for you, we're going to stick with some receptions. Who had more receptions last season? Was it Hunter Renfrow or was it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Whew. Oh, man. They're like the same person. I think it was Amon-Ra St. Brown's end of the season was so good, but I think Hunter Renfrow was just a little more consistent throughout the season. I'll go with Hunter Renfrow.
And you would be correct. By 13 receptions, Hunter Renfrow beat him out 103 to 90. So one of the closer ones we've done so far, but you got it, Josh. Which letter would you like?
Give me let's go unconventional again. I'm digging this. Let's go with a D.
A D?
Yeah.
D as in dog?
Yeah. Hey, let's go.
One D in this puzzle, Josh.
Suspiciously working for him.
Dustin sends you these puzzles as well, Josh.
Thanks, Dustin.
I don't trust laid back, Josh.
Okay, Josh, would you like to buy a vowel or would you like another question?
I want another question.
Okay, who had more receptions last season? Was it Michael Pittman Jr. or was it Mike Evans?
I think it was Michael Pittman.
It was Michael Pittman, Josh, 88 to 74. So you would be absolutely correct. Josh, get this letter right. You bank this money.
Let's go unconventional. It's working. Which unconventional letter do I want?
I think an X looks really good.
An X
looks fantastic.
It looks
X
awesome,
great.
but it's not what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with an H.
An H?
Yeah.
I don't know about
and I'm sorry, Josh. Josh's radio luck runs out, which means we are moving on to Jennifer. Jennifer, would you like to solve this puzzle or would you like another question?
I think I know one of the words possibly, but I'm not. But I am definitely not solving. So let's question me.
Okay, we're gonna stick in some receptions questions. My question for you is: who had more receptions last season? Was it Terry McLaurin or was it Deontay Johnson?
Ooh. That's tough.
Receptions?
Receptions, yes.
Deontay Johnson.
And that would be correct with 109 to Terry McLaurin 77. Which letter would you like, Jennifer?
I will take a T, please.
A T. And there are no T's in this.
Come on!
That's what I normally start. I usually start with that.
But I actually thought, I guess I obviously didn't know what I thought.
The board does not like you today.
You have had some shit luck today, Jennifer.
Yeah, it's okay.
JL, would you like a question?
Yeah.
Okay, who had more receptions last season? Was it Travis Kelce or was it Mike Williams?
Kelce.
Kelsey's absolutely correct by about 20, JL. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with an R.
An R as in race car?
As in R.
Well, there's one R in this puzzle, JL. Going to add 500. What would you like to do now?
I would like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
Can I buy an E?
There are 3 E's in this puzzle, JL. You're not going to be able to buy more vowels now until you earn some more money. So we're going to move on to the next question unless you know what this is.
Right? Not yet. I'll take another question.
Okay, JL, we are going to go to some passing yards questions. Who had more passing yards last season? Who had more passing yards? Was it Matt Ryan or was it Taylor Heineke?
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan is correct by about 500 yards. Which letter would you like, JL?
I'll take an F.
F as in fart?
Yep.
There are 2 F's in this puzzle, JL. Going to add 1,000. What would you like to do now? This is your last opportunity to buy a vowel if you would like to do so.
Can I buy an A?
You can buy an A.
I kind of have it, but I kind of don't.
There are 2 A's in this puzzle, JL. Would you like to buy another vowel or would you like to solve or would you like your final question?
Can I buy an O?
You can buy an O. There is 1 O in this puzzle, JL.
I knew that was there.
Would you like to buy another vowel? Would you like to solve or would you like another question?
I guess I'll take another question.
Okay. Wait, and what would you like your question to be on? Just kidding. You don't get to pick. Dale, your next question, I know it's pretty good. Passing touchdowns. Who threw more passing touchdowns last season? Who threw more passing touchdowns? Was it Joe Burrow or was it Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
It was Joe Burrow by 11 touchdowns. I'm sorry, Jay, which means we're moving on to Josh. Josh, would you like to solve? Would you like a question or would you like to buy a vowel? Because you got some money in there.
I can buy a vowel, can I? Let me get an I. Let me get that
an I.
Yeah.
Okay. There is 1 I, and that is the last of the vowels.
Oh, I know it.
Josh, I'm going to have to ask you, would you like a question or would you like to solve?
Question me, bro.
Okay, Josh, here's my question for you. Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Ramondre Stevenson or was it Mike Davis?
I think it was probably Ramondre Stevenson.
It was, Josh. Which letter would you like?
Give me an M. Actually, I probably should have taken the one I knew. Yeah, just take the M.
I'm sorry, Josh. There are no M's, which means we're going to move on to Jennifer. And Jennifer, it sounded like you wanted to solve this puzzle.
Idea.
I'm going to solve it. Can I solve it even though I have no money?
You can solve it. You'll earn $1,000 if you solve it.
Jared Goff's space.
It is Jared Goff's space, Jennifer. Nice pull on that one.
Think of Office Space. I did not even get close to there.
That was a tough puzzle by Dustin, and you pulled it out, Jennifer. Around the same time as the chat. The chat like just got it. I think you said, "Oh, I know it," before anybody put it in the chat right there.
I definitely did not see anything
around that same time. No, you said it first. Oh, I was just saying you beat the chat.
Oh, okay.
You beat the beat. It is
impressive. I'm sorry, Joe. You have to say it exactly how it's written on the board. Sorry, buddy.
That's a spas.
That's a saps.
Sapsy.
Jennifer, that will
see how long Josh will do it.
All right.
That will add $1,000.
I knew Jay.
You're on the board. You're on the
I'm
board.
not going to blank, so that's
No.
good.
Hey, you guys ready for our next puzzle?
I love
Yes.
checking the chat after I haven't looked at it so
I
long.
know.
There's always so many. Like Jay saying, Josh just needs a cigarette and a bush light.
Bush light. Yeah. And a little bit longer hair. You got a mullet coming out the back, Josh. And
Jennifer solved the puzzle and said, "I'm out of here."
Well, I did good enough today.
That's. Oh, she's back.
I mean, we've all been there. I've been
Jennifer,
there.
we thought
like,
you just said,
okay,
"I solved the puzzle." I'm out. Peace.
I'm
See
out.
you guys.
No, I haven't. All of a sudden, I think I clicked log in somehow in the top. I don't know. I ended up, they were asking for some login, so I just backed out. Anyway, okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Here we
No,
go.
you're
Guys,
good.
here's your next puzzle category. It is same initials kickers. So these are going to be kickers that have the same initials right here.
Kickers
Also,
are my
I
jam,
don't
guys.
love kickers.
I know kickers are your jam, Jennifer.
Kickers
There
are
might
my
be a
jam.
reason this category is making its debut. I see Tyler in the chat said, "I'd love to get back on here sometime. Come
Let's
find
get
me.
him
I know
on.
where to find
Get
you.
him on.
I'll come find you, Tyler.
Get him on. Get him. Get that man on.
Jennifer, you solved this puzzle, which means JL is going to go first since you solved the last puzzle. JL, are you ready for your first question?
Oh, I don't know. But sure.
Oh, you don't know? Okay,
Yeah.
JL, I'm going to ask you, who has more all-time passing yards?
Okay.
Who has more all-time passing yards?
Perfect.
Is it Ben
problem.
Roethlisberger or is it Eli Manning?
It's clearly easily Big Ben.
It is Big Ben, JL. 64,000 to about 57,000. Which letter
I
would
think
you
I would have
like?
gotten that wrong.
I will take a K for kicker.
That's
A
a
for
good call.
kicker.
A
and
for
there are
kicker.
no.
I
A's
like
in
it though.
this
I like it
puzzle.
though.
Josh, it is your turn. Which letter would you like?
I want a K for kicker.
Oh, actually, you need to answer a question first.
Okay. I guess I'll take
Now
a
you
question
need a
then.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, who had more passing yards, Josh? Who had more passing yards all time? So this is all-time passing yards. Was it Joe Flacco or was it John Elway?
Joe Flacco is way up there, but did John Elway play late into his career? I don't think it was that late. It might be Joe Flacco. Oh man, I'll go with Joe Flacco.
I'm sorry, Josh. It is John Elway with about.
Are you that
10,000
young that
yards.
you don't know that? Like the John Elway. I mean, he played pretty late. Like he was,
Yeah. Till what year?
98.
98. I was gonna say they won the Super
So I was
Bowl.
98
alive.
years old.
I was alive.
Oh my
then.
God! How alive? Just so I can get it
I
right.
was
She's
starting
how
to
alive.
think about watching football in
5
'98.
years old?
I didn't really like it until 2000 when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. But yeah.
Were you like single digits old? Is that?
I turned 4 in 98.
Oh my God, you guys!
That makes
I was a
Josh
full blown adult in 1998.
I was
graduated college. Like I was a full blown adult. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway,
we're catching up. We're catching up.
Sure.
Which means Jennifer, it is your turn since Josh got that one wrong. Are you ready for your question?
I am.
My question for you is: who has more all-time passing yards? We're going to stick in this category. More all-time passing yards. Is it Phillip Rivers or is it Joe Montana?
All-time passing yards. Ooh.
New category, please.
Yeah, this is tough because I don't
gave
know
one
how.
to each of you, and then we'll move on from this after this.
Yards. Oh, I guess I'll go Montana.
Who was the other name I said? My brain
Phillip
just completely
Rivers.
brain. I'm sorry, it was Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is number 6 on the list all time, which means JL. we're
Great
back to
question,
you.
Simon. Great
I know.
questions.
I know.
Great
I
ones.
bungled it. I ruined it. That was on me. First of all, before we move on, though, we got Pang Spix
What
in here.
is
Pang
K for
$2.
kicker?
And what is K for kicker? Woohoo! Thanks, Pang.
Thanks,
But-
That's the
You're
answer.
the man, Pang.
There's
Simon,
no
move
K
in.
up there, so you don't get any money.
bonk.
We're gonna move on to the next person. Sorry, Peg. Try again next time. JL, are you ready for your question?
Oh yeah, as long as it's not all
JL.
time anything.
I know. We're gonna go back to some fantasy
I want
points because
all-time.
I tortured you guys enough with the all-time questions. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? Was it Tyler Boyd or was it KJ Osborne?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Don't screw it up, JL.
I'm going to.
I think he should though, so that we can be up.
Screw it up, JL.
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd is correct, JL. Nice job. You didn't screw it up. Which letter would you like?
Okay, there's no K.
Okay. What about C for kicker?
I'll go with S.
S for kickers.
S for kickers.
1, 2, 3, 4 S's in this puzzle, JL. That's going to have $2,000. What would you like to do now? Would you like another question, or would you like to solve, or would you like to buy a vowel?
How do you spell Sudeikis? Like Jason Sudeikis.
Sudeikis.
I'll take can I buy a vowel?
You can buy a vowel.
Can I buy an O?
You can buy an O. And there are 2 O's in this puzzle, JL. Going to subtract 200. What would you like to do now?
I can buy an E. I think it might be Sudeikis, JL.
1, 2, 3 E's, JL.
Well,
this is 300.
Yeah.
Okay, JL, what would you like to do now?
You guys better get this right because I know it.
And she's going to fight you.
Take another question, I guess.
Okay, another question for JL. JL, this is question number 2. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? Was it Mike Gesicki or was it TJ Hawkinson?
Gesicki.
Gesicki's absolutely correct by about 20 points, JL. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with an L.
An L.
Take the L.
One L, JL. This is your last opportunity to buy more vowels if you would like to do so, or you can solve, or you can take your last question.
Can I buy an A?
You can buy an A. There are 2 A's, and that is all the vowels, JL. You have depleted the vowels. What would you
I would like to solve.
Oh, okay.
No! Jen was going to murder you if you didn't
I'm like,
solve
if you don't know this
JL.
now, I'm going to absolutely murder you.
Jason Sanders and Joey Sly.
It is Jason Sanders and Joey Sly. They are the only kickers in the NFL with matching initials. There's not a single other pair of them. So my options were pretty limited for this category. We can't really reuse
Jason
it again.
Sanders is deep. That was not on the forefront of my brain.
Nice job. And Andrew in here about 6 minutes ago, I think there was no letters on the board, and he pulled Jason Sanders, Joey Sly. Also,
he's so smart, Andrew.
Andrew is so smart. You guys don't even know how smart Andrew is. JL, that's going to add 1,800 to your bank, and we're going to move on to our next puzzle. We've got time for at least one more. Here is your puzzle. This is coach speak, and it's just going to be generic coach speak. No, things that coaches say. It doesn't have to be they said it recently, but
I'm assuming.
Just,
I like it.
Just generic coach speak is what we're going to get right here.
Yeah.
JL,
so someone didn't actually say this, right? This is just.
It's been said. You've heard it
it's
said.
It's been said before, but this isn't like,
This isn't a quote attributed to a specific coach. This is not attributed to a specific coach. This is just.
This is like lunch pail guy, high motor guy.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Yep. 100%.
The right team won today, something like that. Know what I mean? Like just some of those things that coaches would say, maybe in a press conference. So JL, you got that one right, which means Josh, you've got the first question here.
Cool guy Josh.
Would you like to solve, or would cool guy Josh like a cool guy question?
Cool guy question for cool guy Josh.
You can tell I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here. Give me a question.
Okay, Josh, my question for you is, who scored more PPR points per game last season? Yeah. So this is on a points per game basis. Who scored more PPR points? Was it,
of course,
Robert Woods, or was it Elijah Moore?
I hate this question. I planned on answering this very confidently, but then I was like, I don't know. I'm going to go with, that's tough. I'm going to go with Robert Woods.
And you would be correct. Their total scores were only apart by 1, but Robert Woods hasn't beat on the points per game basis by almost 2 full points per game. Josh, which letter would you like?
I will take an S.
An S. And there's 1 S in this puzzle, Josh, adding 500 to your round bank. What's next?
Another question, sir.
Okay. My question for you, Josh, we're going to stick in some points per game. Who had more PPR points per game last season? Who had more PPR points per game? Was it David Montgomery, or was it Saquon Barkley?
Saquon Barkley sucked even when he played. It's David Montgomery.
It is David Montgomery, Josh. You're absolutely correct. He only averaged 10.6 points per game for Saquon Barkley. Yeah. David Montgomery was up there around 14, exactly 14. Which letter would you like, Josh?
I'll take a T. I'll take a T.
A T. There are 3 T's. It worked for you. That's going to add 1,500. Josh, this is your last opportunity to buy vowels if you would like to do so, or we can move into that last question.
I don't know a word yet. I'm too nervous to buy a vowel. Give me another question.
Okay. We're going to stick in some points per game still. Who had a higher points per game last season? Higher PPR points per game? Was it Kenyon Drake or was it Deonta Foreman?
Wow. Here's the thing I'm thinking of is Foreman probably played in a lot of games as the backup for Derrick Henry, and that's going to negatively affect his points per game. So I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way here.
So you're going with Kenyon Drake?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you would be wrong, Josh. Deonta Foreman had him beat by about 2 points per game.
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even remember who the other guy was. I started talking about Foreman. I was like, who's the other guy? It's him. It's him.
Jennifer, it is your turn. Would you like a question or would you like to solve?
I'll take a question.
Okay, who had more PPR points per game last season? Who had more PPR points per game last season? Was it Stephon Diggs or was it Brandon Cooks?
Per game, I'm gonna go with Diggs.
It was Diggs. Which letter would you like?
I'm not, let's see.
Yeah, I can't make anything out of this puzzle personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know a word, but I just don't know. And it's like if I go with the safe what I want to go with, I feel like it's not gonna.
I feel like we might be thinking of the same letter, but that would be funny. It's a weird letter.
I'm gonna go M.
M. There are two.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
That was the letter right there. I'm pointing like you know what I'm showing, but that was that was the one that
I think I know it.
So Jennifer, would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like another question, or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I think I know it.
I've got a couple words, but I don't know. I don't know what that second word is.
What's it going to be? Is it going to be a vowel?
Oh, I'm sorry. What are my choices?
You can buy a vowel. You can take another question, or you can solve the puzzle.
All right, let's buy an I, please.
An I. There are two I's in this puzzle. That's going to subtract 200. You still have enough to buy another vowel if you would like to, or you can take another question.
Let's buy an A.
An A. There are 1, 2,
I know what it is.
3, 4.
I think I know what it is.
Okay, I can solve.
Okay.
It was time to make a change.
Yeah.
It was time to make a change.
You know what? The was throwing me off. I thought it was like has, and then I just couldn't like get to. Okay, cool.
Jennifer, that's going to add a 1,000 to your bank on that one. And we had some people in the chat get this one. And Tim came in with a no letter almost solved. What did he say? He said, when we win, when we have a mojito.
When we have a mojito.
Hey, these are facts. Tim speaking.
Yeah, 100% facts.
And then as the letter showed up, he said, it was time to slug a mojito.
Slug a mojito.
Mr. Scampers got it first, though, with it was time to make a change. Nice job, Mr. Scampers, on that one. Because I think we got time for one more puzzle.
I think we might too.
And we are going to pull up. Ooh, there's some good ones.
Did you say Bobbert Woods, Simon?
I don't think I said Bobbert Woods, was it me? But it's definitely possible. I've been known to say Bobbert Woods from time to time. Guys, here's the last puzzle we're going to play. This category is one of my favorites. It is horrible team names. So this is horrible fantasy team names. And this is subjectively horrible. I think it's a terrible fantasy team name. And so that's what's going to be in this category.
I like this category. There's a lot of really bad fantasy team names.
All of them.
Just wait. Just wait.
Say like 98%.
Yeah, no, agree.
This is one of the worst ones I've ever seen. And JL, you are up first. Great. Would you like a question or would you like a letter? And Joey said, I cannot answer this question. He can't because he knows the answer because I told him because I had to tell somebody. JL, your question. We're going to do some points per game questions like we did with Josh. Who had more PPR points per game last season? Who had more PPR points per game last season? Was it T. Higgins or was it Hunter Renfrow?
This feels like a trap.
Clemson boys.
Hunter Renfrow.
I'm sorry, Jail. It was T. Higgins on a points per game basis. And I'm going to confess something to you, Jail. I accidentally had them sorted by total fantasy points, and they're only separated by 0.2 points per game. So that was really – they were much further apart on that list. But I had it sorted the wrong way. That was on me, but the game must go on. So, Josh, it's your turn. Would you like a question?
Yes, I would love
Let's,
a question, Simon.
Who had more PPR fantasy points per game, Eddie Lacy or Patrick Mahomes, Josh?
Definitely not Eddie Lacy.
Josh,
Simon does love helping me.
Who had more PPR fantasy points per game last season, Josh? Was it Chris Godwin or was it CeeDee Lamb?
Great question. I'm going to go with Chris Godwin.
And you would be correct by almost 3 full points per game, Josh. Which letter would you like?
I'm going to take S.
And I'm sorry, Josh. There are no S's in this puzzle. Moving on to
good
Jennifer.
about it. I didn't feel good about it. Yeah.
Jennifer, would you like to solve or would you like another question?
I definitely cannot solve. So I guess it's a question.
Okay, let's just go back to some more receiving stats over here. I want to know who had more receiving yards last season. Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Travis Kelce or was it Jacoby Myers?
Oh, last year was total receiving yards on the season.
Total receiving yards on the season, regular season.
This is really difficult. I'll still go Kelce.
And you would be correct with Travis Kelce on that one. Which letter would you like, Jennifer?
Let's go with an R, please.
An R. And there is one R in this puzzle. Sometimes these short ones are hard to get letters in there, but you found one. All right. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like another question or would you like to solve?
I'll take a question.
Okay. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it CeeDee Lamb or was it Amari Cooper?
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like, Jennifer?
God, there's just nothing to go on here. Let's go with a T.
And there are no T's in this puzzle, which means we're moving on to JL. Joe, quick, let me unsort this real quick by a different category so that I can accidentally ask you a really hard one again. Okay, cool. Perfect. Good job. JL, who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Christian Kirk or was it Mike Williams?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is correct. Both these boys got paid, but Mike Williams had more receiving yards. Which letter would you like, JL?
Let's go with a D.
A D as in dingo?
Yep, as in dingus.
There's one D in this puzzle. JL gonna add 500. Would you like to buy a vowel or would you like to solve?
Let's buy a vowel. Let's buy an A.
Okay. An A. There are 2 A's, JL. Now you can't buy any more vowels. So either solve or take a question.
We'll take another question.
Okay, JL. Who had more receptions last season? Who had more receptions last season? Was it Deebo Samuel or was it Austin Eckler?
Who more receptions, Deebo Samuel or Austin Eckler? Austin Eckler had like close to 70. I'll go with Deebo.
Deebo is correct, and Austin Eckler didn't have close to 70. He had exactly 70, JL. Deebo Samuel at 77. That is going to be correct. Which letter would you like?
I don't know.
It's good. Still.
Yet let's go with a Y.
Why? There are no Y's in this puzzle, JL, which means we're moving on to Josh. Josh, are you ready for your question, or would you like to solve?
I want a question, sir.
Okay, my question for you.
Come back.
Who had more receptions last season, Josh? Who had more receptions? Was it Jacoby Myers or was it Najee Harris?
Suck it, Josh. Suck it.
I think it was probably Jacoby Myers.
It was 83 to 74, only by 9 receptions. Which letter would you like, Josh?
I have no idea.
Go with a Q.
No.
Nobody ever picks the Q.
N as in Nancy, Josh?
Yeah.
There's one N in this puzzle. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like to solve or would you like another question?
I want a question.
Okay, Josh, my question for you is who had more receptions last season? Who had more receptions last season? Was it Cole Beasley or was it Adam Thielen?
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley's correct, Josh. I can't trick you on these. I believe this is your second question. So which letter would you like?
I still have no idea. I'm afraid to say L just because I don't want to take the L, but L.
Well, Josh, you're not going to take the L. There is one L in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000. Would you like to buy another vowel, or would you like, this is your last opportunity, or would you like to move into your last question?
Just give me another question.
Okay, Josh, we're going to stick with receptions for this last one. See if you can go 3 for 3 on receptions. Who had more receptions last season? Was it DeAndre Swift or was it Marvin Jones Jr.?
Oh, God. Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones by 11 receptions, Josh. I thought I asked you some tricky ones there, but you got through all 3 of those. Get this letter right, and you will bank this money. Get this letter wrong, and you will not. It's a tough task, though, with so few squares left on the board.
A B?
B for bonk. I'm sorry, Josh. There is no B, meaning we are going to move back to Jennifer. And Jennifer,
I'm going to solve, actually.
Okay.
I've been quietly sitting on this. I think I have it, and if it is what I think it is, it's a horrible
That'd be
name.
impressive. I have no idea what it is.
Is it Olave Garden?
It is Olave Garden.
Oh, it's so bad.
That's such a good name. Oh my God.
It's so bad that it's kind of good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That actually is a tiniest bit clever. The tiniest bit.
Did you
I should have.
See,
I should have built up my money first, but I was too scared I wouldn't get it right. You know.
I think you solved the most puzzles out of everybody on the show.
I did, and I'm still going to lose.
That's okay. These guys are losers
so
in their own right, on their own.
But so is Josh.
JL is going to be our champion today, and I believe
I did it for the 7%.
Was the first one in the chat that got this one correct. Shout out to Albert. Jennifer, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to come on and play this game with us today. This was a ton of fun.
Jennifer. Thank you. No, thanks for having me. It was fun. Even though I came in third. I'm not used to losing.
It's your first time.
Just setting you up for that redemption arc. Now, next time you come back, it's all part of the story when you take it down next time.
I act whatever, but I'm a very competitive person, so I'm not very happy.
You are in the right place then. You are in the right place.
I'm not
whatever about this.
Yeah, whatever. Fine.
We'll have you back on. As soon as you're ready to come back on, we'll have you back to try to get that title away from JL. Guys, if you are not already following our guest, Jennifer, go and follow her right now on Twitter at the Monday Mommy. It is right there below her face on the screen.
Such a good follow.
An absolutely great follow. After you do that, guys, make sure you're on this YouTube channel, that you've liked our video and you're subscribed to our channel at Front Yard Fantasy, because you know what? We're going to be back tomorrow. And
every day.
Not the next day, but that Monday. And then the next Tuesday. Yeah. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And you're not going to want to miss any of those shows. But that is going to be it for us today. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Another big thanks to Jennifer. Thanks to everybody in the chat who played along with us. Until tomorrow, adios, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Trading makes fantasy fun. Hey.
I thought you were going to forget because you're back, you know.
I don't forget. Not here.